After months of closures due to renovations and the pandemic, the Bathhouse Cultural Center is beginning a gradual reopening of its gallery programs. In February of 2021, the center is hosting one of its most popular events, the 26th annual El Corazón exhibition. Just like in previous installments of the El Corazón exhibition, the curator of the show, Jose Vargas, has selected a wonderfully eclectic collection of art pieces in different media that are inspired by the human heart. El Corazón, which is seen by many people as a powerful symbol and a truly inspiring theme in art. The concept of this show carries a special meaning in the middle of a public health crisis, as the image of the heart can be perceived as the exemplification of the resilience, fortitude, and unified strength of our community. As a token of appreciation to the artists who have supported the art programs of the center in the past, the curator has selected works of art that graced the walls of the Bathhouse Gallery in recent Corazón exhibitions. The art show features works by 32 artists from the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and the Waco area. The exhibition has only been interrupted twice in its history at the Bathhouse. On both of those years, the building was being renovated. Since the first time the exhibition was presented in 1993, the Corazón exhibition has generated great interest and excitement among artists and the public. The curator states that the basic idea for the show came from a picture of a heart pierced by an arrow that was printed with the number 27 and the words El Corazón on one of the cards of the popular Mexican board game Loteria, a game that is somewhat similar to bingo. Mr. Vargas realized that, like him, many other artists were also attracted to the beauty and allegory of the heart, and together with hundreds of local, regional, and national artists, he has continued to present passionate and beautifully diverse exhibitions that, even after 26 years, are still as stimulating and fascinating as the inaugural show. The El Corazón exhibition and all the art programs presented at the Bathhouse Cultural Center are supported by the City of Dallas Office of Arts and Culture.
Well, if I can remember clearly, I'll give you like a short history of the Corazón show. I had just organized my first Video Game Guadalupe show in 1992, and by that time I was meeting a few artists, and some of them used to go to Club Dada, and they were musicians. And so I went over there, and I came across a lady. She was an artist herself. She was the one that was running. She was the bartender, but she was running the gallery in one part of Club Dada, and. So I was able to look at the artwork that was there. And then one day she calls me and she tells me that she needs my assistance because the person that was supposed to do an art exhibition there, they canceled on her. So she calls me and she goes, "Can you help me out? I need an exhibition, but I need it pretty soon." I don't know if it was like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll help you out." So I just got on the phone and started calling and meeting people as I could. That was before the internet, so it was interesting, but anyways, it really worked out really well, and we had a lot of fun with it. Again, I was getting to meet some of the artists here in Dallas and Oak Cliff. It really worked out really well. It was really a lot of fun, especially when you can imagine that it was a club, and the room right next door, there was the band stage. So when the bands were playing, sometimes the wall actually would vibrate, and some of the art would vibrate. So I learned to use safety wires. And thinking about the exhibition at Club Dada, Terry Aguilar, she was the director at the time of the Bathhouse Cultural Center. She went to see the exhibition and she really liked it a lot and she was impressed with it. So she invited me to think about the following year to come to the Bathhouse and do the Corazón show. And I showed up at the bathhouse, and I really liked the place. So I did agree to doing it. And it's been at the bathhouse for many years, except I think maybe 2 times possibly when the place was being renovated. And I'm really glad. I'm really kind of proud of the history, my history with the Bathhouse Culture Center and El Corazón show. When I think of the image of the Corazón and how people relate to it, especially with artists, especially the ones that are interested in participating in this exhibition, I really don't see it as it going away or that people will lose interest in it. Again, I go back to the fact that everybody can relate to art, whether it's a mournful art. Let's say somebody that you care for has gone out of your life for one reason or another. And sometimes people, if there is something in their life that either they're extremely happy about or they're sad about or they're angry or confused about, I think that the art comes in and it works really well, for the artist to be able to express themselves in some sort of artistic way. And so I really feel that the interest in the art and the use of the art by artists it's not going to go away. If anything, especially in these days and times, because of the situations at hand, with a pandemic, that's come into our lives for whatever reasons, and I don't want to get into that, but the fact that it has affected thousands, if not millions of people, that gets people closer to their loved ones, and it gets them thinking about what's important in their lives, in their hearts. And so people are going to be using the image of the art for centuries to come. Over the years, people have contacted me about being in the exhibition, or somebody is writing an article or something, and they'll go, "Hey, when are you doing the Valentine show?" Or "I want to be in the Valentine show," and I always bring that to their attention. It's not really a Valentine show, and it just happens to be in February. But to me, it's just completely different. The Valentine, I think of it more as romantic and sweet, almost flowers and candy, and the Valentine's art. And even though I don't really mind so much the Valentine art being used in the Corazón show, because sometimes it works. I mean, obviously everybody can relate to the shape of the Valentine, whether it is Valentine or you may just see it as, I don't know, some sort of live line or something like that. But really, there is a whole lot of difference. And to me, the Valentine show or the Valentine theme may work for somebody, but it doesn't work for me. I really take it more as I'm really looking more for the anatomically correct part of a song, because that's what I relate to. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but of course, like I said before, it connects to the image of the Loteria card, but also in looking back over the years, I see it as a connection in a way, if you want to look at it, a connection to the aesthetics. I'm not asking anybody to go out and to be that drastic, but I think of that, and I use some of that in some of my art, and I know other people do as well. So again, I really don't mind a reference to the Valentine, but it really isn't about that. Over the years, people have asked me, how did I get into organizing shows? How did you become a curator? And I have to really think about it, and I guess it goes back to 1992 when I organized the Weekend in Guadalupe exhibition. I was lucky enough to have met a lot of Chicano, Latino, Mexican American artists, and several of them were, quite gifted, quite talented, and I don't know. I think at that time, for some reason or another, nobody really wanted to volunteer to organize a show, and I thought, well, why not try it? And really, I guess in some way, well, because I wanted to be in the show, and I figured, well, if we don't have a show, I won't participate. So if we do have a show, then I'll have a really good chance of participating. And so I just did what kind of came naturally to me. Just contact the artist, and and of course, I really have to mention that I was lucky enough to come across an individual, and his name is Samuel Torres. He had a nice house, I think 2 or 3 bedroom house in Oak Cliff. I don't know, I remember where it was, but we had met him for something else, and so I went to his house to talk to him about this other project that we were working on. And the more I talked to him, the more I looked around his house, and then I thought, this would be a good place to have an exhibition. So I told him, I said, hey, I've got an idea. How would you like it if I was to organize an exhibition in your house? He just smiled and pulled out the key to the house and gave it to me. I said, no. I said, no, I want you to think about it. I said, I'm going to come back in 2 days and ask you the same question. The question is, would you lend me your house for an exhibition? He goes, yeah, I can do it. I said, no, you don't understand. I said, I'm going to ask you in 2 days because once you agree to allow me to use your house, it no longer becomes your house. Now it belongs to me. Now it's going to be my gallery. And so I said, I'll be back in 2 days. So sure enough, I went back in 2 days. Again, he would just smile. He gave me the keys to the house, and I said, okay, all right, well, go ahead and start moving your bedroom. He was going to go, yeah, start moving your bedroom out of the front room and put her in the back room, and this is going to become a gallery. And I'd never done it before, but you know what? It was just a whole load of fun, and being around all of those artists, it was really quite interesting. I mean, it was very, very good experience for me. And later on, of course, like I mentioned before, I had met some other people, some artists and musicians and stuff, and I just ended up, again, because I need some people, and just the ability to call people and invite them to be in the exhibition at Corazón, it just fell into place. But over the years, because I've done it for so many years, and I think about that. I think about other people and the opportunity for other artists to participate, because when I was growing up, I really didn't have any intentions of exhibiting my work. And honestly, if you go back to, I don't know, 80s, 90s or whatever, there really weren't that many places in Dallas where there would be open to where, a person like me or somebody else, they would just go, I want to go here or I want to go there, and ask me if I can be in the show. You really, it was sort of, I guess it was in a way a struggle for some people. And in the way I looked at it, as I said, it sort of was a natural thing for me, but then I wasn't competing with any commercial galleries or anything like that. I was doing something more intimate, more personal, and I was very lucky that Terry Aguilar invited me to organize an exhibition at the Bathhouse Culture Center, and I feel really lucky that we've been doing it for so many years. And again, it takes me, it puts me in the position, of course, where I'm the judge. I select the work. And sometimes I'll come across some art that honestly that I feel is not ready for the exhibition. But I take into consideration who the artist is, what their background is, what their experience is, and I put myself in their position. I mean, I've been rejected when I've turned in, pieces of art. I've been rejected as soon as early as maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm used to that. I mean, I'm used to rejected, but I'm used to the fact that you could be rejected. So again, I go back to and think about who the person is, and I would take the time to talk to that person, and especially if I saw that there was something in their demeanor, their personality, and their art. Of course, you need to have some sort of spark of talent. I would see some of the art, and I would talk to the person. I would go to their studio or their home, and I would ask them to explain to me what they were trying to do, what was the story behind the art, and I didn't mind sharing a little bit of my experience with them. I would just make some recommendations. I go, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you add or subtract something to it? And I try to do it in a way to where I'm not going to hurt their feelings. And it's worked out over the years. And part of it has to do with the fact that I try to give people the opportunity for them to have the experience of exhibiting their work with other artists. Some of our other artists are established artists in their communities. Some of the participants are professors at colleges, universities. And so I think it means a lot for the person. It means a lot for them to have to work on the walls, to be accepted. And so I feel it's one of my jobs as a curator to give an artist the opportunity. And again, I feel lucky that I have the opportunity to display my artwork in some of the exhibitions that I've organized. But when I'm invited, I feel very, very glad about it. I feel very happy about it. And of course, I am an artist. I've been doing art ever since I was a little kid, getting into trouble for scratching on pieces of wood that I shouldn't have, or I don't know. There were so many things that I think about myself as a kid that I just don't have time to talk about it. But let's just say that I haven't forgotten about it. I haven't forgotten of how much enjoyment I got out of it as I was a child, and I haven't forgotten, again, the times that I feel lucky to exhibit with other artists. So if I have the opportunity, I want to give that a chance to another artist that I feel are deserving. And actually, that's what I would like to do with my years that I have left. Like I keep, some people, I don't know if they think, well, I'm sure that I do have a warped sense of humor, but over the last few years, I've been telling some people that I was going to die soon, especially to Enrique Fernandez Cervantes, who is in charge of the gallery of the Bathhouse. He's been here for over 18 years. I swear it's more like 50 years. But I don't know. Anyways, I kept telling him, I said, you know what, Enrique, I'm going to be dying soon. And he goes, why do you say that? I said, well, everybody has to die sooner or later. We just don't know when it's going to happen. And there's very, very few people that are lucky enough to predict or to know when they're going to die. The way I said, it could happen next year, in 2 months, in 2 weeks. So in the meantime, hey, why not try to do the best that you can? And do the stuff that you really enjoy, the stuff that's really close to your heart. And if I get a chance to help someone else get their work on display, I really feel they need some exposure. That's what I want to do. And of course, I don't mind having my work on display because, well, let's face it, I'm a little prejudiced. I think my work is good, and I'm just happy to have the chance to exhibit my work. Well, in addition to my interest in the Corazón show, when I think about it, there's a variety of topics and exhibitions that are appealing to me. In the past, for example, I was a co-curator with Jacque Forsher, and we organized the Rita show here at the Bathhouse Culture Center. And that was really appealing to me. I really, really enjoyed it. I had thought about doing the Rita show for many, many years, but I just wasn't ready to approach the culture centers with that. And I guess for me individually, I really wasn't ready for that. So I'm very pleased with that. And of course, in the future, I would be more than open to doing that and again. But I have a little bit of history of organizing some shows, and again, besides El Corazón show, for example, besides Our Lady of Guadalupe, about 1 or 2 years ago, I was really happy to organize a show called Lucha Libre, and that fell into place by many circumstances. But again, to me, that was at the Oakland Culture Center, and I was extremely happy with it. I thought it was very successful, and I had a whole lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed having that exhibition. It had to do with Mexican wrestling, and it was just a blast. I really, really enjoyed it. And of course, thinking about the Oakland Culture Center, I was lucky enough 2 or 3 years ago to have some of my individual work there. And when I was first approached by somebody there at the Culture Center, I really wasn't thinking of having my work on display, or I said, well, I can locate 2 or 3 other artists to have my work on display with them. And Robles, he was saying, no, I want you to display your work. So honestly, I had to think about that for a good 2 months before I agreed to do it, because I really wasn't sure whether I wanted to do that or if I was ready to do that. But it worked out really well. And afterwards, I was approached by the manager at the Latino Culture Center, and of course, I did another exhibition there, and again, it turned out very successful, and it was beyond my expectations. So I was very, very happy about that. But of course, me being who I am, I've got hundreds and hundreds of ideas for exhibitions and projects, and there's quite a few that I want to approach certain individuals about in the near future to see if I can go in that route. Again, there's just too many interests that I have. I'm going to be lucky that I'll be able to accomplish a few of those in the near future. But I do want to thank the City of Dallas for giving me the opportunity to organize shows for them, and I look forward to doing more of those in the future.